Yeah. Okay, so this is my project for it's the milestone project. My name is Christopher Cardona, and this is what a psychiatrist looks like. So for the first part, we were asked to find a person who was doing the job that we would like to do, and I found Dr. Amner Mansour. Hopefully, I said that right. She is a expert in evaluating and diagnosing mental health conditions, not only adults, but in adolescents. She graduated from San Antonio at UT Health, which is down the street. And now she works at a family psychiatry in Chavano Park, which is also down the street from UTSA. She's double board certified adult, child, and adolescent psychiatrist. She completed her residency in psychiatry and fellowship in child and adolescents at UT Health San Antonio. She specializes in diagnosing and treating disorders like ADHD, autism, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and various mood disorders and more. Her one of her quotes that I saw on her webpage was that happy minds lead to happier lives. I just love that. I love that. And I love the fact that she does adults and childs. It's very inspiring. So okay, so the next part was to create a location that we thought would be best for our business. So personally I would like to be located downtown San Antonio or downtown anywhere. I love just the vibe and the just the way downtown feels. Um But I think it's a great place because it's very busy and a lot of people, in those areas, a lot of people are working a lot. They live busy lives. A lot of stuff's going on, and they need a place to, that's close by. They can talk and about their mental health because everybody has mental health issues, whether we realize it or not. At some point, it's always just best to. It's always great to have someone to talk to, and being in that area I think would be great. Just so, you can get off of work, maybe you have a lunchtime, they could come and, set an appointment with you. I think being downtown is a great way of being close to a lot of people you can help. Also just love the diversity the downtown brings. You get every walk of life. It's just beautiful. It's very diverse. You're never gonna meet, the same person twice. This job already does exist in these locations. I mean, there's psychiatric offices everywhere, but I also believe that, especially with the COVID in the past coming years and just the whole world becoming a lot more stressful and mental health awareness being a big thing now, I feel like more of these places need to become a thing so we can help more people. And this is my bit emoji. Next slide here. The milestone, second part was our interview. We did like an in-person mock interview in class. So we looked at key factors of having a successful interview, what to dress, wear the proper attire, research the institution you're interviewing for. You want to be familiar with the background information of the place. You don't want to walk in and have just no clue of, what they do, what their purpose is, and what they're trying to achieve. Um, Confidence was another thing that was mentioned. Confidence is a big thing. You want to be confident in your abilities and yourself so you can better portray that in your interview. You don't want to be too confident to where it comes off as cocky or having a bad attitude. And you want to stay concise. You want to make sure that you deliver your answer with conviction. You want to make sure you can get nervous, but, stuttering and, avoiding eye contact. Uh, isn't the best for interview situations. And this is my guy going to interview. interview reflection. So this is how I felt after the interview. I felt good. Um, the questions asked in class was just kind of put you on spot. Like this. Questions that were asked in class kind of just put you on the spot, and it definitely makes you feel like you're in an interview type situation. Just being able to come up with an answer. Obviously, you would prepare more. We didn't really prepare much for our mock interviews, but just be able to come up with an answer on the spot like that. You never know what they're going to ask. Some areas I feel like I could improve was introducing myself and my background. This is when I was the interviewee or interviewer. I was the one asking the questions. Um, I feel like I could have asked, I could have made myself and my, I guess, status known better and made them more comfortable. Areas that I feel like I improved as the interviewer is talking more concisely and conveying my point better. Here to this. Do I not have it? So this is our third milestone. What is my function? So this was my function I was given. We were asked to make it into like a real life scenario. So as a psychiatrist, I'm going to be looking at stress levels, or this is a potential thing. I could be looking at stress levels and the number of therapy sessions attended by a patient. So the function above represents the stress score of a patient after attending a certain amount of therapy sessions. And we were going to track this. We were asked to find the derivative of the function and the critical points of inflection. So the critical point x0 at the beginning before any therapy sessions, the derivative is 0, inflection point. This suggests that the rate of change in stress shifts early on after starting therapy and has more of an effect on stress reduction. This does not conclude that the effect starts to slow down after a few sessions. So we have an example here. Evaluate the stress after one session. So we would take uh, our variable, which is 1, plug it into our thing, and we get 26.23. There's a notable decrease in stress after just one session. So this is a way you can use the concepts in calculus to and apply them to your real life situation or your real life job, being able to better understand what's going on with your patients and help them proceed in their treatment. This is the graph for that function. So you can see here it starts off pretty rapidly in the beginning, after one session and two sessions, and then further along you get in sessions, it does decrease a little bit. But I mean that's just, it's all, I mean, and when you look at stuff like stress level, it is very subjective. So some of these values are not going to be concise with just, the strict, math of it. And I believe that's the end of that one. This is our fourth milestone, the fundamental theorem of calculus. So we were also given another function and then asked to put it into a scenario. So my scenario was when I become a psychiatrist, I want to conduct research, such as looking at new therapy approaches that are aimed to improve quality of sleep for patients struggling with anxiety. So we have the function that represents the rate at which a patient sleeps. Quality improves over time, and X represents the number of weeks since the starting of therapy. And I conducted the study for a total of 10 weeks. So we have our Raymond sums here. This is the data that was collected over the 10 weeks. Our left endpoint data is our right endpoint data is. To define the left-hand sum, you would have to multiply each function value at the left endpoint and then sum these products. Same for the right-hand sum, you'd have to sum and multiply each function value at the left end point. What? Okay, I wrote that bad. And sum these products. You find the area, take average of both, and that's where you get your data from. It's your graphs that go with it. FTC, so this is finding the exact area under the curve. This is a the part that we just did was an average, so Raymond sum is more of an average um, way of finding it. It's not as accurate and precise as the fundamental theorem of calculus is. So the first step is find the antiderivative of the function that we were given. Then next was to split the function, and then you'd put them back together and then evaluate the integral. So our integral was, 10 weeks, so 1 week, and you would calculate, and then you would take find you would take 10 minus 1, the integral, and then you would get 67.87. And this is where we compare the two. So we compare the two values. We had 67.87 for FTC and 67.93 for Raymond. These were very, very close. So it goes to show you that while Raymond is finding averages and isn't as accurate or precise as FTC, it's still fairly close. It's not too far off from what we're looking at. And I'm pretty sure here yeah, so the fundamental theorem calculus and Riemann sums are both ways to calculate area under the curve. Riemann sums approximate the area under the curve by dividing the interval into smaller subintervals. The FTC uses antiderivatives of the function to find the exact area under the curve or a given interval. Yeah, so just to restate again, that Riemann sums is pretty much just averaging or approximating. You could even say guesstimating, not guesstimating, but you know, it's approximating, while FTC is actually finding the exact area under the curve. And this was our last milestone, milestone 5, the differential equation encoding. So we were asked to, we got a function and then give us an area. So the function represents the rate of change of a fish population, where x is time in days, y equals fish population at time of x. The term 75 represents the rate at which fish enter the population per day, and the term negative 0.3y represents the rate at which fish leave proportional to the population. So at x equals 0, the fish population equals y equals 0. So we had to modify the code. We were given a generic code, but we had to plug in the values that of our function up here. These are just uh the modified codes that we had here. And then we ran the code twice with two different step sizes. So we had step size of h equals 2 and a set of h equals 4. This is the graph for step size 2. And this is the graph for step size 4. So you can see that step size 2 follows along more, or the analytical solution follows along more with the Euler approximation, while the step size 4, which has a uh, larger interval, you can see here it doesn't follow along as well until the end. So here again, in step size 2, the Euro method follows similarly to the analytical solution with a minor change at each step. When it reaches the end of simulation where x equals 20, the Euler approximation reaches y equals 250. So this is just the equilibrium point where the fish entering equals the fish exiting. Now, in step size h equals 4, the larger step size introduced more significant deviations from the analytic solution. For example, approximation overshoots with y equals 300, so we saw this huge change here that wasn't, accurate with the analytical solution. But towards the end, it did equal out, and still at equilibrium, y was equaling 250. So the equilibrium value, as I said earlier, y equals 250. This represents the population level at which the rate of fish entering the population is equivalent to the rate of fish leaving. The step size impact. So H2 produces more accurate results as captured the curve of the analytical solution more closely. The larger step size leads to larger errors in earlier steps, but still converges the equilibrium value over time. So we see that here. We go up, we see the differences here. The curve is a lot. I mean, towards the end, it does follow it closely, but you can see at the beginning it doesn't. Well, compared to this, it follows it pretty much to a T. For real-world interpretation, the result demonstrates how numerical methods like Euro's method can approximate real-world scenarios involving population dynamics. The equilibrium value is 250, indicates the stable fish population under the given conditions. So reflections for this whole entire project. This whole entire project has definitely given me a better understanding of calculus and how it can apply to real world scenarios. You always ask that question, am I ever going to use any of this stuff in the real world? This project definitely helped answer that question. I have considered adjustments in my own career path, like focusing on research. Um, a lot of this has definitely opened up a whole new way of thinking and how, doing more research or doing more, I guess, like experiments. I don't really call them experiments, but just tracking data can definitely help with formulating like a treatment plan for mental health issues. From the interviewing process that we did in class, it definitely helped build experience, asking and answering questions, and building those skills that you need, like eye contact, active listening, and the ability to convey your potential that you can bring to a company. I think that's probably the most important part is, they don't want to, I mean, they do care who you are and your accolades, but they want to know, they want to just see in your presence your potential. This project has shown me how concepts in calculus like differential equation can model real world scenarios. In reference to my psychology pathway, we can use calculus concepts to track improvements in mental health over time based off different treatments. So that was like how we did in milestone, I would say 3 or 4, where we looked at the sleep patterns and stress levels. So it's pretty cool. You can use these concepts to almost predict or reference to and when you're going to help patients. Overall, this project made me appreciate calculus more for its tools of understanding and tracking data. I have grown to appreciate how these concepts can help me in the future career. It's been a great semester, and thank you.